Hey guys, in this C# how-to video, I'm going to show you how to embed an external .NET library into your application and reference it from there. This is perfect if you have an application that you're writing that relies on external libraries, but you don't want to ship the application with those libraries as separate files. You can just embed them right into your own application. In a project I'm currently working on, that's exactly what I'm doing, and I decided to make a quick tutorial showing you guys how to do it. Let's get started. Let's go over to Microsoft Visual Studio 2010. Create a new project. I'm going to call this Embed Assembly and get rid of that. Make sure it's a Windows Form application. Let's add a button to our form. Just going to put that right there. Double click on the button and it'll register a click handler. The next thing we need to do is reference the assembly we want to use. Go over to References, right click and hit Add Reference. And I'm going to use the assembly called Console Music. This is an assembly I created about a year ago when I was intrigued with the beep method of the console class. What the beep method does is it takes a frequency and a duration and it makes a tone at the frequency for the specified duration. Well, I encapsulated the notes of the piano in the console music class and made the ability to store songs where you just add notes to it and rest. So that's what we're going to add right now. Console music. Add that and close. The next thing I have to do is add the namespace, so using console music. In the button click method, I'm going to create a new song, S, and I'm going to set it equal to, I actually created a demo songs class, I forgot about that, and these were just pre-programmed songs. I'm going to use I Love You. Oh yeah, that's the Barney theme song in case you were wondering. And then you just do s.play. And this will play the song for you, and I will show that to you right now. The form loads, you hit the button. Yep, that's the Barney theme song. So let's close out of this right now. Now what happens if you want to ship this application out in the world, but you don't want to include that console music as a separate file? You just want to send out one file. Well, this won't work in that case. So I will show you an example of how that won't work. Actually, before we start the form up, there's one thing I forgot to do. Console music, you click on that and go to its properties, and you copy local equals false. That means it won't copy it into the local bin directory when you build it. So when I run this, the form will pop up. Now if we go into the place where our assembly is stored and we rename it to .text, say, and then go back to our program is still loaded, but when I click this button it will not be able to find that assembly and it will throw an error. Oh no, file not found exception was unhandled. Well, now I'm going to show you how to handle that and how to load it directly from your own assembly. The first thing we need to do is go back to where we stored our assembly, put it back to a DLL. Now the next thing we need to do is drag it into our project. Then we need to click on it once, go to Build Action, and choose Embedded Resource. Since our error was in the program class, this is where we are going to add the handler for when that happens. The code to register the handler is going to be appdomain.currentDomain.assemblyResolve. And what this is an event handler, and we need to plus equals, and it says press tab to insert, and it'll create the handler for us. Tab one more time. So this is actually the method that will get called when something like that happens, when it can't find an assembly to load. I'm also going to add the using system.reflection namespace, so I can get rid of this. And then here's where we write the code to load that assembly from memory. So the first thing we need to do is get the resource stream. So basically get the data from there. So what we're going to do is using, and I'll just call it var stream equals assembly dot get executing assembly. And what this does is it gets a reference to our current program that's running right now, dot get manifest resource stream. And what that does is it will return a reference to the resource at the specified location that we pass it. So what we want to do is pass it the namespace. So it'll be embed assembly and then dot whatever your resource name is. So it will be console music.dll. And then put an open and close bracket right there. The next thing we want to do is initialize a new byte array, and I'll just call this assembly data, and initialize it to a new byte array of stream.length. And this is actually going to hold all the bytes of the file consolemusic.dll. The next thing we want to do is read that stream into the bytes, so we're going to do stream.read, and we pass it the byte buffer that we want to read into, so assembly data Offset, we want to start reading at the beginning, and count, we want to do assembly data.length, because that's how many bytes we want to read, and that's how long the stream is. The next thing we want to do is return an assembly, as we stated here. So we are going to return assembly.load, and we're going to load it from our raw byte array, and that's assembly data. That is actually all we need to do to load this assembly from memory when it can't find the assembly on the local computer. It is now stored as an embedded resource, so we don't have to include it along in a separate file. Let's test this out again. If I run the form, it pops up as normal. I will go back to our directory that we hold consolemusic.dll, name that .text one more time. Remember that threw an error last time when I renamed it. Now, if I click button 1, it will work. Spared you some time on that so you didn't have to listen to the entire song again. I know it's a great song, but yeah. That's it for this tutorial, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.